into this, this is your first and only warning that this video is going to contain spoilers for Netflix's show Sexify. La 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 Hi friends, it is Sam, and today I'm here to talk to you about some potential asexual representation in the media. Recently I finished a Polish Netflix show called Sexify. I watched it in Polish with subtitles, but the option is there to watch the dubbed version. I just don't like it when the voices don't match up to the mouths. I'd rather read the subtitles. And it does help with concentration, because if you're not concentrating, you're not gonna know what's going on, because you don't know what they're saying unless you know Polish. I found this show just surfing on Netflix for something to watch, and I watched the trailer and I thought to myself, that main character looks kinda asexual. So I chucked it on and I watched it and I took notes, because this could be huge. So the show is about a girl who's making an app for university, and it's something that has to appeal to everyone, and she notices that everyone at her uni is like pretty obsessed with sex, so she decides to make an app centered around the female orgasm. I was very excited about this show, and having finished it, I continue to be excited about it. Another season is coming and I'm buzzing. For this video, I am going to present to you the evidence I've compiled that the main character, Natalia, might in fact be asexual. In the beginning, I was convinced she might be aromantic asexual, but as the show went on, I was a little less convinced that she was aromantic. Maybe demi-romantic, but not completely aromantic. So the notes I've compiled are kind of haphazard. I haven't like written down what happens in what episode, but they are in chronological order. I just threw down some notes every time something popped out at me. The very first scene, however, in the very first episode, like, I thought was a very good metaphor. Natalia's in the shower, and the shower actually stops before she's finished, which it was like kind of, I'm not explaining it that well, but it was just a really good metaphor for female dissatisfaction and a great way to start off the show. Another of the very first scenes is a student party, I believe, and Natalia is in conversation with a guy and he thinks they're flirting and she has no idea whatsoever. And that's a very common trait with a lot of aces and arrows. And I wrote down their little conversation. He asks her if she wants to take a walk, and she says, "No thanks, I've already done 15,000 steps today." And he said, "Well, do you want to dance?" And she said, "I don't do those kinds of things." Not all of the things I'm listing are 100% asexual things. A lot of asexuals have sex and like to dance and like to flirt. Like, this is like quite stereotypical ace stuff, but I like to think that they will use the label asexual in the next season. Like, they don't use any labels in this season. Even for her friend, I have a feeling her friend might be bisexual or even a lesbian, but that's not even verbally addressed in the show. So hopefully season 2 is going to talk a little bit more about labels. There was a similar scene to the one at the party where she's in a lecture and she's asking a fellow student to help her with her project, and he thinks that she's asking him out. Again, it's like classic miscommunication. Her not knowing that there's flirtation involved, him not knowing that there's no flirtation involved because she's not attracted to him. In episode 2 is when Natalia really realizes how prominent in everyone's lives sex and sexual attraction are. She is at a swimming class, I think. I don't know whether it's a class or whether she's just at the pool. You just see her looking at her fellow classmates and she seems to be trying to figure out like what makes her classmates attracted to each other. She looks very confused because to her like it's just people in swimming costumes. She doesn't seem to see what the other students see, and she doesn't seem to feel what the other students feel. So as she's developing this app, Natalia obviously needs test subjects. She tries to gather information herself on her own orgasms, but she has never like had one before. She's never had sex before, and she just seems very confused and uninspired. So she decides to branch out and ask other people to provide data for her, shall we say. And her best friend Paulina asks her why she doesn't do it, and she replies with, "It isn't my kind of thing." I did also wonder while watching this show, like, what Monica might identify as. She is definitely an allosexual person, but when asked why she has sex, she says it brings her joy and it feels nice. And it did make me wonder, like, could she be aro? She's kind of obsessing over her ex, but she doesn't want to get back with him. He is the thing that stimulates her sexually. She likes to look at pictures of him, but she makes it clear in the show that she doesn't want to get back with him. So I do wonder if, like, she could be aromantic. In one episode, Natalia takes her friends to a sexpo, which is quite hilarious, seeing how uncomfortable she is in that environment. She approaches someone with a VR machine and they ask her to try it out, and she's like, yeah, why not? I think she completely forgets that she's at a sexpo, and she puts the VR headset on. She's really enjoying herself. She wakes up like on a beach and there's a man coming out of the water. She finds it all quite humorous until like she sees his willy, and then he sort of becomes covered in willies and she's just horrified and she's trying so hard to get the headset off. It's hilarious, and again, screams asexual because like she's got this naked man on a beach and she's very happy to see him until she realizes that he's coming at her with his willy, and she's like, no thank you. The next instance that screamed asexual to me was one of the biggest pointers to the possibility that Natalia could be asexual. She develops this friendship with a boy called Adam, and towards the end of the season they do actually kiss, which is the thing that made me think that, hey, maybe she's not completely aromantic, maybe she could be demi-romantic, or even just allo-romantic. As it escalates, she kind of ruins the moment by asking him if he'd like to have sex with her for research. She's very frank about it. She's like, let's have sex so that I can test my app. And understandably, he's very turned off by this and he leaves. But later on in the series, he does kind of suggest to her that he might be a bit demi as well. He says, I like to get to know people at my own pace. I guess I like to take it slow. After Natalia does suggest having sex with Adam for research, she does tell Monica that that occurred, and Monica is understandably horrified. She tells Natalia that it's supposed to happen by itself and you're supposed to just know, and Natalia asks how, and Monica says you just feel it, and Natalia looks very confused. At the end, she does kind of make it clear that she wants to pursue her relationship with Adam, which again, like, says demi-romantic to me, but it will be interesting to see in season 2 how a sexual relationship might develop between them. And I'd love for some labels to be thrown in, because like I said, nothing is confirmed in this show. I might be completely wrong, but Natalia comes across as very asexual to me, and I really hope that it's true, because she's a great character, and this would be excellent representation for the asexual community. Just a warning to any asexuals watching this who are considering watching Sexify, it does contain a lot of sexual content, so just be wary of that. But if you're asexual and you have watched this show, what do you think? Do you think that Natalia might be asexual? Do you think that it might be confirmed in season 2? Or do you think that the show's creators haven't even thought about it? I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you next time with another video. Bye!